Okay, guys, so I wanted to do a little presentation. We're going to compare bodyweight training versus traditional weight training, specifically gymnastics training versus more traditional bodybuilding. Which one's actually better? It's a big debate, an age old question. Which one builds more muscle? Which one builds more strength? And which one's more useful? So, first, let's establish the main difference. The main difference with bodyweight training is it uses closed chain movements. This means you're moving your body through space. This is such things like chin ups, dips, muscle ups, press ups. So, activate more muscles with closed chain movements. And you need to stabilize those muscles, keep your body still. You build skills and you build body awareness, especially as you become to more complex movements like planche, handstands, and so on. Those open chain movements, you move the weight and your body stays still. There's things like the bench press, lat pull down, leg press. So it reduces the number of muscles activated and it makes it easier to isolate muscles. So they've both got their benefits, but we'll go through that as we go. So the first thing I wanted to show is that bodyweight training builds a hell of a lot of strength, and that strength seems to be extremely transferable to other disciplines. And what I'm going to show is two guys here who are high level gymnasts, both on the rings. So obviously it's very upper body dominant, but we're going to see what happens when they do bench press, kind of for the first time. They clearly don't do bench press often. This guy does mention he has done it before, and we're going to compare, what happens to bodybuilders who kind of do muscle ups in the next section for the first time. So you can see this guy, he's doing 100 kilos, 225 pounds for the, maxing out, seeing what he can actually do. He didn't want to do a 1 rep max, but let's see what happens. What actually happens is he crushes it. The guy gets 21 repetitions at 100 kilos, weighing about 78 kilos. That's pretty insane. That's well over a double body weight bench press for a 1 rep, which is elite level of strength. Amazing, really. And then look at this guy, who is also an elite level gymnast. He has also got insane strength. Look at him still going, busting it out. This guy doing 330 pounds, sort of 150 kilos at about 70 something kilos. A massive bench press. Look at it, boom. Incredible, really. And that's what I wanted to show, how much strength gymnastics training builds. It's a lot. And guys that don't do bench press do incredibly well at it for their first time. Whereas if we look at bodybuilding, it doesn't do the same thing. These guys are both massively muscular. One is a high level natural bodybuilder, and one is a high level non natural bodybuilder. And you'll see that although they've got a lot of muscle, it just doesn't transfer anywhere near as well as the gymnastics does to strength. They give it a go. They're both trying a muscle up for the first time, which is a basic gymnastics movement. It's actually only what you consider like a level 5, which is pretty low. An iron cross is a level 9, and Maltese is something like a level 17. A really, really difficult movement. So you can see, really basic movement in gymnastics, not considered particularly hard. And these are elite level bodybuilders, like the other guys were elite level gymnasts. And you see this guy's first attempt at the muscle up. There is a bit of skill in it, let's give it that. He really struggles, really, really finds it difficult. In all fairness, he does eventually get it. And then let's look at this guy. He is also obviously massively muscular, but not natural. And he gives his first muscle up a go. And as you'll see, he finds it even more difficult. And this is what I'm pointing out, he's doing a bit of athletics here, how it doesn't seem to transfer to other disciplines the way gymnastics does, which is kind of a downside, should we say, of weight training versus traditional bodybuilding. This is Niall Wilson shows the muscle up, and this guy tries that. And I don't know if Niall gives him the tips he needs, but he's trying a false grip. Like he just can't do it. And then he also tries a rope climb, which is actually a lot less technical. A very basic movement. And he also, as Niall shows, it's not a high level gymnastics movement, but they are pretty tough. Just again, not a chance. Which just shows, how bodybuilding doesn't transfer for strength the way gymnastics does. But obviously, in bodybuilding's defense, it's not about building strength, it's about building muscle. So if we move on, we look at a weightlifter here, who it is about building strength, obviously in two movements, the snatch and the clean and jerk. We haven't got any powerlifters in this because I couldn't find any with a direct comparison. So we're going to look at what happens when a high-level powerlifter tries his first muscle up. It's fair enough. Niall, again, is just explaining it, showing there's a false grip you've got to pull through. I'm pretty sure those guys are going to be able to help coach him through it if anyone is. And then it's just whether he's got the strength. Obviously, he won't have worked some of the muscle needed. Probably won't have the forearm strength and the isolated movements, but it's just really, I wanted to show you what happened when they tried basic gymnastics movements and just seeing how it transfers over. So let's have a look. Like I said, it's a basic gymnastic movements. That's much harder when you're doing an iron cross pull through. And look, this is what happens. Does get one, to be fair, with a bit of a jump, but how difficult he finds it. He's actually jumping off the ground, and how the weight training, again, just doesn't transfer anywhere near as well as maybe the gymnastics does to the weights. So I'd say that's one of the main benefits of bodyweight training and closed chain movements over open chain. Because they activate more muscles and build body awareness, they really transfer to other disciplines. Because it's not quite the same the other way around. So I wanted to give the risk of injury as another point. So as you can see, this was examining strongman training, powerlifting, Olympic lifting, and bodybuilding. So if we look at them, bodybuilding actually comes out as the lowest risk of injury, which makes sense. It's very controlled, it's very isolating muscles, and then it really varies depending on the study. But strongman's definitely the highest, which again makes sense. Not only is it very explosive, it's odd objects, it's putting your body in pretty crazy positions when you think about lifting Atlas stones. Now, it's hard to find any studies purely on the strength training side of gymnastics. When we look at gymnastics overall, it's actually got a level of 1 injury per 1,000 hours. And this did carry on all the way up to 5 per 1,000 hours. So it may be that it's as high as things like strongman, but this will include all the tumbling, all the flips. So unfortunately, it's a bit inconclusive. But what we can say is it's pretty similar level of injury risk. Sorry, skipped ahead to traditional weight training. And it's probably much lower than things like endurance running, which actually, if this will move, has a really high level of injury rate of up between 5 to 12 per 1,000 hours. So it's pretty safe. I'd definitely say it's low injury risk compared to a lot of other sports, especially when you take out all the tumbling and you focus just on the strength elements. So what about muscle mass and hypertrophy? So again, really difficult. There's not that many comparisons. One thing we can clearly say here, this guy Yuri Van Gouda versus Aaron Curtis, elite level bodybuilder, natural, which is what we want to really go for, versus high level gymnast. They both build a lot of muscle. And I'd say it's actually comparable, and that maybe people underestimate the benefits of building muscle with bodyweight exercise. And it may be just as effective for building the upper body as traditional bodybuilding is, just with more function. But clearly we can see for lower body mass, you want to be doing your traditional weight training. So I don't think you're going to build quads like this from bodyweight exercise. It would be very hard to load the muscles enough. So upper body, definitely incredible for building muscle mass, as you can see. Lower body, maybe not as good. So what it does do, though, is you develop cool skills. So, here I'm just playing with human flag off my employee, which just shows some of the benefits of bodyweight training skill training, from muscle ups, handstands, front levers, back levers, straddle planche, human flag, iron cross. They really do develop unique movements that weight training just won't develop. So it is pretty beneficial in that respect. So that comes down to, which is best? I'd say there isn't one. In essence, they're just both forms of resistance training. One is predominantly resistance of overcoming your body, whereas the other is overcoming an external load. So they actually kind of go together. You think a squat, a body weight, is overcoming the load of your body. When you load it more, that's actually a hybrid. That's a compound movement where you're adding weight. So they both have unique benefits. Bodyweight movement